And we are back. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. Sorry we weren't able to do stuff yesterday. Hey man, things happen, obligations. My bad, but we here. We're here tonight. Early Thanksgiving, all y'all, you and your families, and all that. Just meet you. That Brian, that's me being a pro. I'm wishing people.
Yeah, trying to be a pro. You're trying to explain to our fan base why you decided to make a road trip, and just leave me out of the situation.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Can't be talking about this football team all the time. Then is that what you're telling me?
Nah, man, you gotta take days off. Because hey, when draft season starts, it ain't no stopping. But nah, that was not a day off.
Hey, I'm glad you got to spend some time away. I know you missed me and I missed you, so we rallied back. We'll be working on Thanksgiving, so we got to do something.
Right? Brian, let me just tell you something I did. I came home. We didn't shoot an episode of Doing All Right, but I did get right to work putting film out. So I didn't just sit down and do nothing. We just didn't do an episode of Doing All Right, but it's all good, man. It's all good.
I did. I saw you post something after. I saw you post something, and I was thinking, man, did he just do a show by himself because he was tired of working with me?
No.
I got a little defensive. I got a little personal there. I took it personally there.
What you gonna learn as content guy, Brian, is sometimes you can make videos early,
right?
And you can schedule them to come out, sir.
You scheduled it, is what you did.
So sometimes, when the film comes out, why just do one video? I'm watching film. I'll do 3 videos, and that'll carry me through the week so that Tuesday and Wednesday be easy. You're going to learn something from me, Brian. I
will learn something. Hey, I know you're talking about these players and off in the pre-show meeting.
Yeah.
You were talking about Josh Simmons.
Yes, sir.
Offensive tackle.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to tell me that Josh Simmons is your best tackle? Is that what you're about to tell me?
I think some people are going to feel like Josh Simmons is the best tackle in this draft.
Ohio State, right?
Ohio State, left tackle, 71. I think it's incredibly early for me to come out and say that, Brian Broadus, but I was watching film today, and I got a chance to watch Cameron Williams. He's the right tackle for the University of Texas.
Man, I don't know. Good-looking guy, though. Guy's a good-looking player. He's good-looking physically.
A good-sized guy, Brian.
Don't know if he plays as good as he looks.
Man, Brian, I feel like when people meet us with draft takes, I think they watch highlight tapes sometimes. That's some of the problems that we run into, right? They may watch his best plays. And I looked at Cam Williams, Broadus. I actually tweeted about him.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe Cam Williams is a guard, right? Because it seems like when
it
seems like when he got to move around a bunch, he misses, he leans, he stands up, he's tall, he's good with his hands. That's probably
good with his hands.
That's probably just coaching. Like he mixes up the fight. That's a term that you'll hear from me. Like he don't just strike with 2 hands. Like sometimes he'll strike with 1. He'll strike low. He'll fake let boom. Like he'll mix his hands up really good, keeps his elbows bent and all this kind of stuff. But he don't bend his knees. He's really tall, and sometimes he looks clumsy. I don't think his feet are all that good. Some people say that he got fantastic feet. I think he got cool feet to say that he's 340, but I don't necessarily think he got tackle feet. He got tackle length. But I'm like, man, maybe if he was a guard and he wouldn't have to travel as much, then maybe that'll help him a little bit. But Cam Williams had me going, and I didn't really think he was all that, Brian. But I thought, cool player.
No, that's the thing about it is I kind of thought for somebody, I didn't think he was 335 pounds.
He didn't look that big,
And he said, as we were talking about a tackle, the right tackle, the University of Texas. But man, I felt like when he kind of hooked up on a defender, he can make it difficult on him, but kind of like there was some push shove to his game as a run blocker. The hand placement at times got a little wide for him. I mean, I thought he got powerful hands, but I thought they got a little wide at times. And then there's kind of times you see him off balance and he's able to kind of get himself back in balance. But I kind of feel like that if you really have to run around this guy, and there were times where guys were running around him.
Yeah.
And I thought the wider the defender, the harder it was for him.
Georgia for sure.
To get to him. Yeah. And I watched Georgia and I watched Vanderbilt with the 2 games I watched, but I guess kind of his ease of movement is impressive. But the last line I said, some might see his as a guard,
Mm-hmm.
but I think his length gives me hope that he could be a tackle in this league. And I don't know, man. I kind of didn't see a first round player here, when we're talking about the type of player. And so I'm still in that hunt, trying to kind of figure out, what we've seen from, Will Campbell at LSU, what we've seen with Kelvin Banks at Texas, the left guard, or let's be the left tackle, and then now Cameron Williams. This group does not appear early to have the same kind of, punch for me when it comes to what I saw last year.
I think Josh Simmons is the best tackler in this class, bro.
Okay. Well, then we'll look at Josh Simmons. So that will be, I have that on my notes. Like I said, I got Cam Williams done and I got that Stanford wide receiver done.
Yeah.
But then Josh Simmons was my very next guy. Him, Landon Jackson, the edge, some guys that I have left. So we'll keep working and we'll do this on Friday. So what do you think about your Dallas Cowboys and the chances they got on Thursday?
Can I say one more thing about Cam Williams, the tackle from
Texas?
Texas?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. As you would do. Oh, sorry, sir.
He's 6'5", 333. Y'all, something that y'all do on the draft show, Brian, because I'm a fan, is y'all talk about.
You're on the draft show now, so what do you mean what we do on the draft show?
Well, what draft show alumni would do sometimes is y'all would talk about certain things y'all don't like about players. You know what I'm saying? Will McClay don't like towels. You know what I'm saying? Or you hate the guy or
Clapper.
The
Clapper. If you're a
guy.
Clapper, I can't stand you as a player.
Let me tell you what I don't like, Brian. I don't like big people that don't play like it. If you Cam Williams 6'5", 335. I didn't see him.
Fair.
I didn't see him look like that. I didn't see him really generate a bunch of movement. I saw strikes, but I didn't really see him drive people. I want somebody 6'5", 330.
Yeah.
There was one play versus Georgia, Brian, and you are a great film watcher. Cam Williams was double teaming Michael Williams with his right guard, and they couldn't move him. They couldn't move him. Michael Williams just standing right there, just standing and just taking that double team. And big ass 6'5", 335 Cam Williams and his guard, they couldn't move him, and I was discouraged by that, Brian. So that's one of my things I don't like, man. If you're gonna be that big, I want you to act like it.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like I said, he to me for 330, he played light. He really did play light. And not just a little bit light on his feet. I think the guy, man, I think he's got some good footwork. I mean, light feet. I don't know if his feet always work the right way with the hands. But, man, you're right. I mean, the guy's 330, and he doesn't play like a mauler, like he's going to just, 6'5", come off the ball. I think he's got some punch. I said it earlier. I think he's got some punch in his hands. But, man, I was expecting a guy that would just come off the ball and was going to hammer people. He had a couple in the Vanderbilt game where he got a helmet sticker for a couple of pins, and it was legit. But then, like, he'd get a pin, and then the next play, the dude would kind of control him. And I was like going, man, you got to be more consistent coming off the ball, getting into people. I could say when he could hook up, I thought he did a decent job, but there was times where you saw him come off blocks and stuff like that, and he didn't really get done what he needed to get done.
Yeah. So Brian, that's my whole thing. I'm really excited when you watch Simmons, Josh Simmons, the left tackle. Number 71 from Ohio State. I'm really excited when you watch him. He's my number one tackle right now. He'll make you cuss everybody else out.
Okay. Look forward to it.
But, man, Brian, let me just ask you about your Dallas Cowboys, man.
I think they're going to win Thursday. I know that it pains you and a million of other people that are looking for draft positions, but I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win on Thursday.
That'll just hurt me, Brian. That'll just hurt me. Hopefully Hopefully Tyrone Tracy will get things going. I think he's been a really solid running back so far. Hopefully
he's looked good.
Hopefully him and Drew Lock get things going and Neighbors get things going.
Oh, there you go. See, Drew Lock gives you a chance to win the game, right?
Drew Lock gives us a chance to give them a chance to win the game.
No, that's what I'm saying. Gives them a chance to win the game.
Yeah. Tommy would just flat out lose, but Drew Lock at least gives us I wish Tyrod Taylor was there. If Tyrod Taylor was there, that's definitely a W for the Giants, but it may or may not be though, Brian.
Why do you feel like that, or why do I feel like, excuse me, let me rephrase. Why do I feel like this is a game? Malik Neighbors had 15 targets the first time these two teams met?
Something like that, yeah.
Why do I feel like he's going to get like 25 targets in this game?
Because they play us the first time and they know what to do. If I'm the Giants and I played the Cowboys the first time, I'm about to go find 6. Now, Brian, I did notice 30 was on the field a lot more. 30 was on the field a lot more.
30 had some moments where he wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of thinking like, here's a guy you always kind of talk about cover, being able to cover and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Had some moments where I was kind of like a little nervous by him, by the way he was doing. I was thinking, okay, I think this guy's a little aggressive in the way he plays. Mm-hmm. I wish he would have helped on that punt block. My gosh, the personal protector, bro, sacrifice yourself, make them run over you. But I just kind of felt like that maybe there were some times he could have covered a little bit better. So yeah, you're right. I saw him on the field, but I just feel like the Cowboys are going to win this one. Yeah. I think Zimmer's kind of getting things together with this defense. And, if they get Diggs back, they have Lewis playing in the nickel, and you get Bland. I was talking to some people in the organization about Bland. They were telling me that like they just kept asking him, "Hey, you good? You good?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I feel good. Yeah, let's go. Let's keep going." So, Dallas is the thing that should worry Dallas is, you're right, Tracy running the football. That should worry Dallas. But like I say, you get the Giants having to throw the ball a bunch. Yeah. That offensive line will give it up. Sure. That offensive line will give it up. Yeah. They've got problems at left tackle. They've had problems inside. John Michael Smith's the center. He's a good center, but he can get overpowered. Sure. It's a division game. That means Mozzie's going to have 6 tackles. That kind of thing.
Something crazy like that. Yeah, some wild. I actually think that the Cowboys and the Giants are like very similar. Like, they got a handful of players on offense, like a superstar receiver, problems at the offensive line. They're compromised at, quarterback there. But if you look at defense, like they got some stars on the, front, and then they got like a really good here or there type of guy. Like they got 3 really good dudes on both sides of the defense or whatever.
Sure.
And besides that, a couple jobbers maybe possibly here or there. Brian, let me ask you this though, man. You was just talking about safety, man. I just want to ask you from a team building perspective, right? Moving on into the future.
Man, you're gonna hit me with this Kavanaugh question that he asked me about. He asked me about picking Malachi Starks with like the 10th or 11th pick.
I was definitely gonna ask you about safety, but I'm not crazy enough to spend one of my.
He loves Jeff Kavanaugh loves him some Starks.
Starks cool.
And I said, you think this is Brian Branch? He's like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm like, you would take Brian Branch. For what you know about Brian Branch right now, you would take him in the top 10 is what you would do. But I don't think I could.
I slightly disagree, Brian. I like Brian Branch, but I think my big 6 guys, I'm talking about Carter from Penn State, Genty from Boise State, these wide receivers, I take all these guys over Branch. I just have a general theory that safety gets used less. You know what I mean?
No, I understand. Jeff was adamant, like he and I had this discussion on our little podcast, Trust the Tape, that he's like, listen, Jeff's saying, I don't like any of these guys. He's on the point where I don't like, he's not, and I hope I'm not putting words in his mouth. I don't think he's a huge fan of Carter or the edge from Penn State. But from a team building, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, Jeff doesn't have the pressure of draft show forcing him to watch film. Like so Jeff kind of cutting the homework, and I don't like that, Jeff. I'm gonna get on his ass, Brian. But team building, right? And I was about to ask you about the safeties and the offensive line here. I was gonna ask you about the young guys that's on this team already. I'm gonna ask you about 4 of them.
Yeah. Sure.
Marquise Bell, strong safety. Wanye Thomas, free strong safety, whatever you want to call him. Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass. They all played last year. Did those guys show you enough to make you want to not think about that spot in the draft, right? Like, has Hoffman showed you enough to where you go, yeah, I wouldn't look for a guard? Marquise Bell is hurt, but we know, that Donovan doesn't have too long with a new administration in here. Will you hold on to him as safety? Would you go look for another safety? These young guys, are they doing enough to where you feel like you don't have to go draft somebody? Is Austin Richards somebody that's going to help you in the future, bro?
You know what? I kind of feel like I really like what I've seen from Austin Richards. Sure. It's a shame. It sounded like a high ankle sprain. It sounded like he's going to be out a little bit. So that's unfortunate for him, man. I mean, I don't know if they were playing him, and I need to ask this question. Were they playing him out of necessity just to try and give Guyton a break? Or were they just pissed off at Guyton for lining up like he was a slot receiver playing tackle? I don't know, and I need to find that out. But they were kind of rotating, they were rotating him in there, in and out. And I was, now, I'm not interested in Chuma Doga all that much. Sure. I'm really not. But to your question, I think you're open. I think you're open to all 4 of those players. I think you're open to if you were to move on from those guys, would it be, could you replace them? Sure. Yeah. I had a lot of hope. I had a lot of hope for Bell, and the fact that they kept going with Wilson, they kept going with Wilson, and Bell never got a chance, really. Yeah. There might be something more there than we don't know about. Maybe they're worried that Bell wasn't picking things up. And I'm not saying the kid's dumb. Please don't clip this and, tag him and say, oh, well, hey, Brian Bross thinks you're dumb. That's not the case. I just wonder why it took so long for him or Wilson, or excuse me, him or Thomas to even get a shot there. Yeah. They just, even when things were not going great for Wilson, they stuck with him. And whereas other positions, man, they moved on quick from Booth. Sure did. They moved on quick from Carson. Yeah. They moved on quick. They didn't move on quick from Wilson, So I wonder if there's something there with Bell. Now, maybe if there's a new regime here, new coaches, maybe they feel different when they watch the tape.
I find that interesting, Brian, because Bell's a guy, and look, this ain't me fighting you. We just talking. Bell's a guy. Bell's a guy that plays safety a whole offseason, and they need him to play linebacker. He just showed up and played linebacker.
There's no question. So There's no question. I wonder.
Decent at it, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if under the Dan Quinn administration, did they have an idea of the player, and does the Mike Zimmer administration really not want to, to go there with the kid? I mean, he is primarily a special teams player. And when things were going bad with Wilson, like I said, they didn't yank him, they would put in, they put in Thomas. And I kind of felt like that maybe Thomas was a little bit better cover guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There was some reps in the Commanders game. I was like, maybe I need to recheck that. Yeah. So I think with Hoffman, I think you could find a guy like that. Yeah. I think you could find the guy that might have regressed a little bit, but he played well in the game the other day, was Bass. Mm-hmm. I kind of felt like when we've seen him play before, he wasn't as good as he was last year. So, but man, as a group, and listen, I've kicked Mike Solari in the junk a bunch on our shows. I'm going to give the man some credit. He got those young guys. He got them playing. They ran the football. They did enough. They protected. They didn't give up a bunch of pressures. The sacks at the end of the game were, Cooper Rush trying to keep the clock going. that kind of stuff. So, but I want to give Mike Solari some credit for, Smith not being able to go, Martin not being able to go. You're having to rotate the left tackle. You got a rookie center, and you got 2 backup guards playing in this game against a pretty good Commanders front 7. They more than held their own. So maybe I need to reconsider about your question about those guards. Yeah. But I kind of feel like if you gave me the opportunity to keep one of them, I'd probably keep Bass.
I think both of your guards played decent.
Yeah.
I would say it like this, right? You know how like Rico will have a game and he'll run for 80 yards and we'll be like, damn, that's a really good game for Rico. But in real life, we just want a new running back.
Right.
I think Brock Hoffman had an 80-yard running back game. Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass had an 80-yard running back game. But boy, I still wish those dudes were just a little bit better, because Hoffman had a good day. Hoffman and Bass, they had a cool day. But I've seen most of their work, and this is some of their best work, to be fair. But I've seen a lot of their work, and the work that we saw Sunday was a minority of their work. I was still like a better guy there. So I think when it comes, and this I only brought this up because this is a conversation Cowboy Nation is having. They're moving towards the idea that, hey, the Cowboys have been building an offensive line long enough. It's time to get some wide receivers, running backs here. And look, I don't disagree. I just don't want the plan to be, all right, Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass, Smith somewhere, BB somewhere, because BB could be a guard somewhere. Tyler Guyton, like that's our plan, and I think that's a scary plan to move forward. I would like to improve. Like to improve everything, but your offensive line could use some help too.
I tell you, they were better at right guard just because of a healthy body there. Better. Martin was too beat up. Martin was just way too beat up. I mean, being off last week, this week, hopefully get him back for Cincinnati. It'd be nice to have him battling that monster that's about to play you on Thursday. Yeah. But they've got to, these guys, Hoffman, Bass, they've got to be ready to go, and I think they will. I think they will be. And I was pleasantly surprised by how they were able to move the ball the other day with that combination that they had. You're thinking 1, okay, 2, that's a 2 guys and a rookie center.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Rico Dowdle, some of his best carries, the couple of tosses and stuff like that. They got the ball at the edge, but there was some inside running going on there too. Sure. Some good tough running, but they were able to get some blocks. I thought, Steele, I've been kicking him in the junk too. I thought he played, he played a lot better than he's played in the last several weeks.
Yeah. Fair enough. What do you think about your owner, general manager, coming out and setting the world ablaze with his Mike McCarthy stuff? Do you think that is a direct reflection of, hey, we're getting healthier, and look, we won a game because we're getting healthy? You know what I mean? Or do you think that's just propaganda? He's just talking about
same coach that he complained about the scheme problems and things like that after a game. Same coach. Hey, Jerry is. Jerry, and hey, I don't blame people over there for being happy about winning a game. Trust me, I went through 3, 5, and 11 seasons over there. It sucks. It absolutely sucks losing over there. It's a miserable damn place to work when you lose. And then not only that, you got people all over the top of you telling you that you suck at your job. That doesn't help the situation. But I think Jerry does what he has to do. I said this on the G-Bag Nation today. I think there's 0% chance Mike McCarthy comes back. I don't think he comes back.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think that there's too many options out there, that Jerry and Steven and Will can look at, whether it's the Belichick angle, the Vrabel angle, the Ben Johnson angle, any one of those guys that you want to kind of look at, Aaron Glenn, any angle. There's coaches that, to me, this seems like a better group of potential coaches than what we've seen in the past when Dave Canellis is getting a job or, the guy, and this sounds so disrespectful, but, the guy in Atlanta. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
The Saints coach Dennis Allen got a
job.
Yeah,
Dennis Allen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that, do those kinds of coaches move the needles? I don't think so. But I think the coaches that are in this current potential cycle, I think they got some needle movers in this group. I do. Yeah. And I wouldn't keep, like I said, I told you this earlier. When things were going bad on offense, if I was Jerry Jones, I would have asked Mike McCarthy to change the coordinator. I would have said, you're not going to be the play caller. I don't want you calling the plays. I'd like to see Brian Schottenheimer. And if he said no, I would have fired him right on the spot. And I would have seen Brian Schottenheimer call plays. We'd have figured this thing out. But I've been wrong before, but I think that Mike McCarthy's fate will be sealed. I think there's some games in the horizon that they will probably lose. I think that they will, they could very well, the Cincinnati game, even though Cincinnati, I mean, they're losing a lot of close games, but still you're dealing with that offense. Yeah. The Tampa game, the Philly game, who knows what's going to happen in the Commanders game. The Commanders could be playing for a playoff spot and you could be, playing not to get hurt. Yeah. So, but like I told you before, there's losable games. I mean, they don't have to tank. They could but they are it looks like they're kind of buying into what Mike's selling on defense right now. That's the one thing I think it's been pretty good to watch. The offense, not so much.
Man, Brian, this next offseason, we're going to mess around and have Mike McCarthy in the 19th overall pick, and I'm going to be mad as hell, Brian. Do you think
Mike's going to be here? You think he's going to be here?
He should not be, but I know Jerry Jones is one to talk himself into doing something one more time just to see. That's always been a thing.
Well, I'll tell you gave that man 5 years, and I understand the 3 straight 12-win seasons. It hasn't got you any better in the playoffs, right. And you were struggling. You were struggling on offense before Dak Prescott even got hurt. Yeah, that's Mike McCarthy's area right there. Mm-hmm. You can understand what's going on. And I'm not defending Mike Zimmer. Whatever happens to Mike Zimmer will be fine. I will say this though. I think the defense has gotten better. Yeah. You look, the defense has kind of held you in games. The offense is not. Yeah. 3 and outs. And last week, hey, they got how many special teams points they get off last?
One Yates, Turpin,
20,
a couple of
20
field goals. Yeah.
20 points off special teams. Yeah. It was 10-9 going into the fourth. It was going to be a fight, and that your defense holding you in there. And Cooper Rush played better, but to me, this is where I think that if Jerry Jones brings back Mike McCarthy, then I'm going to be honest, I'd be shocked. Especially with, and it would be very much the Cowboys to miss on a hiring cycle of some potentially really good coaches. And then all of a sudden, things happen again next year. And now they're looking at, who are we going to hire? Well, wow, that Ben Johnson's lighting them up, man. That Aaron Glenn's lighting them up. Boy, look what Mike Vrabel's doing with the Jets.
Now, see, Brian, you just said something I think is super important too, Brian. If it's inevitable that you're going to fire Mike McCarthy, I want to go ahead and do it, because when Detroit is like, all right, we're letting y'all talk to Ben Johnson now. Yeah. You don't want to not be in that group, not talking to Ben Johnson, because you're figuring things out with Mike McCarthy. If you already got this feeling he's not going to be here, just move on, because you don't want to miss the butt on that guy in Detroit.
Yeah. See, but that could be typical Cowboys. I really believed, and this what gets me in trouble, Voch, is when I look at this football team. I really believed, wrong about this, I really believed that they were going to ride this thing out with Dak. Yeah, I really did. The longer it went, the more my belief became stronger. And they signed him. And I could see them, like you said, doing the same thing potentially with Mike McCarthy. Like, let's just kind of run it back. I don't think Mike McCarthy is the best thing for Dak Prescott. I just don't. Yeah. I just don't. And Mike McCarthy's stubbornness about play calling and all that has got me even more, more just on edge.
Sure.
Yeah. So, would it surprise me? No, Do I think it's going to happen that somebody else will be here? I think so. But like I said, I've been wrong before about that.
Now, Brian, I got some homework for you, man. I know we normally watch 4 of these draft guys and have them ready for Friday, but sometimes we get impatient. We just talk about a couple guys in the middle of the week, Brian.
Yeah.
I just want you to watch Josh Simmons, offensive tackle from Ohio State.
I will.
And we'll come back here tomorrow and we're just going to talk about him. And, Brian, we may preview the Giants for like 8 minutes because we've already previewed them before, and this game ain't going to be too terribly different.
Yeah.
I want to have a conversation about the offensive tackles in this class, and I want to base that conversation around Josh Simmons. It's very important that you watch him, Brian.
Okay. I will make sure Josh Simmons gets watched, and then I will be ready to go. I might just try and just pick off a bunch of offensive tackles down the road just to kind of get an idea. Maybe Simmons, maybe skip down. Don't want to jump tags, I've been kind of following an order that you and I have been going on. But if we're in an offensive tackle mode,
I've been jumping. You can jump.
Who else did you do? What other guys you do?
I watched Deion Walker, the tackle from Kentucky, and boy, Twitter kind of overrating him a little bit too. And there's a couple other guys I watched, offensive linemen or whatever. And up next, I got Jonah Savigny from Arizona.
Yeah, is he a tackle or a guard?
They got him as interior offensive line. He plays tackle, but he's projected to be a guard, I guess. So I'll be watching him. And Josh Connerly from Oregon, the offensive tackle from Oregon.
Okay, I will punish these offensive tackles, and then tomorrow we'll reconvene. We'll talk about the Giants' defense, and we'll talk about some of these offensive tackles. How about that?
Sounds like a plan. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to another lovely installment of Doing All Right. We are doing all right, man. We love y'all. And y'all tell us how y'all doing in the chat. We'll come in there and check on you. Me and Brian actually leave comments. We go in there and we talk to y'all. Somebody was like, "Oh, there's no way Voch really reading these comments." And I
read them every morning.
I see everything. I see all things. So
I read them every morning, and if I hit you with the like, that's me. I mean, seriously, if I answer you back, that's really me. I go through I hit that button that says newest, and it goes from the newest to the oldest. And a lot of people jump in there and go first. Yeah. They were first. I got in first. They're really big on that. Yeah. So if you got questions, fire them at me. All I ask is you be respectful, or I'll sick Voch on you.
Y'all definitely don't want that. All right. But until then though, I'm VOCHLOMBARDI on all my platforms, man. And y'all tap into BRY getting broadest on his social medias. We're looking at Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10. Derek Eagleton told me he's sending me more and more texts every day, Brian.
So Tuesdays and Thursdays. You excited about that? You got to get past all your things you have to do off the field. You got your off the field stuff you got to take care of, right?
Yeah. I got to talk to Chris Beam. I got to get a physical, a drug test. I got to jump. I got to run a 40 and all that.
Cough.
Cough. You got to grab a parts and cough. All that kind of stuff. But we'll try.
Excited, hey, really excited as the founding member of the draft show. Yeah, I'm very excited to have you on board. I really am. I'm looking forward to. I think we're gonna have a great year. I know when the season's over, I know that's when it's all going to take place. But I think we got a really good crew with yourself. With Kyle Yeomans and Bobby Belt and Zach Wolchuk. And Nick Harris. I think we got a really good crew that's gonna bring this stuff into light, and especially I think with the picks that they're gonna have, I think we'll have this thing wired pretty good.
We about to have pick 21 if they keep winning these damn games, Brian Bros. But anyway, love y'all to pieces,
bro.
man.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Don't worry about it.
All right. Please watch the best tackle in this class. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
I will.
And y'all, look, when me and Brian talking, y'all watch these people too, so y'all can come in and do some homework and follow along. All right. And that'll be fun. But till next time, we love y'all to pieces. Y'all hold it down. Crown.